Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on! Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, down, down. Deathmatch Podcast, Deathmatch Russell 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 Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest at this time, the Serpentine Assassin, Brandon Whatley. How are you, man? How's it?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good for Monday night, right? I think it's Monday night. Time flies, this week, last week goes by. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Monday night. Yeah. But correction, it's just the Serpent Assassin, not the Serpentine. Nothing extra.
Okay. All
it's
right.
all good though.
It's all go delete, right? As Matt Hardy would say, right?
But sorry. I think there's somebody else with Serpentine in their name, so it's it's kind of common now.
Oh well.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it's all right. You better pay your money now. How's that? Yeah. Sorry, Serpent. But anyway, man, how you doing? Pretty good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I've been busy.
Busy getting yourself ready for some upcoming shows and just, it's just that time of the year, right?
Well, I just had a couple of shows this past weekend.
How'd you do?
I did well. Saturday night, I was at Southern Violence and Wrestling in Athens, Georgia, and I was first match there, got a W. And then last night,
nice.
yesterday evening, I was at Georgia Independent Pro Wrestling, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia, and I was second match, got the dub there too.
Oh man,
and
double W right there. That's and one more you probably won. 3 W's, right?
Right. And what made the weekend so great was Southern Violence Wrestling this past Saturday. Well, this past show was their IWTV debut. Before that, they was on Fight TV.
Mm-hmm. So that was like so you got spotlighted, basically.
Oh yeah.
Fight TV is is a big market, and IWTV is big too. We know that. Everybody, there's lots of good promotions that we love to watch and you like to wrestle with. And it's amazing what's out there now. And talent is what it's all about, my friend. And who you want to wrestle and who you want to wrestle next.
Right, and both platforms are big platforms. Like I said, Southern Violence, they was on Fight TV, but GIPW, which was the show I did yesterday, they're on Fight TV. And what made yesterday special was yesterday that show was a benefit show for this couple, which is loyal fans. They had a motorcycle accident back in the spring, but nobody knew about it until recently. So when the promoter found out that the first thing they did when they got out the hospital, they came to the show. And they came to the show in like a back edition. And I guess the promoter or somebody asked out of curiosity, like, what happened? They like, hit and run and was in the hospital for God knows when, barely survived, shouldn't be alive right now. But see, you had a show and had to come support. And they've been, it's one of those day one fans. So we had to take care of them.
Yeah, you know what? It's always good to give back to the people that, as a wrestler and a fan, we always help. We always do something for a family in need. or anybody. You know that it's like it's just it's a blessing. You know, we put a smile on their face, even if it's a crippled kid. You know, if it's a handicapped, disabled, you know, battered family member, you know, just this and that, and accidents as well. You know,
Right.
it's to help them provide something to put a smile on their face going home. Hey, at least I have a memory of this in my head for the week that I saw some wrestling this week, and I'm happy. You know, like that's, you know, it's a hobby. I mean, not a hobby, but you know, it's just like a weekend. What's to do on a Saturday night, right? Like go bowling, right? Like
Right. Or go to the movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just,
but in our standpoint, it was a Sunday, so most of everybody is kicking back, barbecue, watching football.
yeah.
So instead of watching NFL Sunday, they came to see us.
Yes, which is, yeah, and you're like, okay, I'm missing some games, but you know what? I'm gonna catch up and watch it later. But you know, some good games this week, actually. You know, but there's pretty good games this week. I was watching the scores for my Eagles fan, so you know, can't Eagles and actually no, Broncos kicked some ass this week too. Shout out to them.
Man, ever since I got in wrestling, I can't even tell you the last time I actually sat down and watched a whole football game.
Really?
Yeah, really. Like, I don't even bother trying to watch the highlights on ESPN because I'd rather watch the whole game. And I'm like, man, I ain't even get a chance to watch the game. I'm not even worried about it.
No. Who's your team?
You know, well, in college is Alabama. In the NFL is Seattle Seahawks. This was before they got good with Russell Wilson and them. All right, I became a Seahawks fan when Sean Alexander was there and Matt Hasselbeck and all of them.
Right. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, we don't have time to watch that, but I'd rather watch a baseball game or something, you know? Sometimes I got to get back into that groove. I used to love watching baseball as a kid, you know? It's like, man, just this past Saturday we had the, you know, 9/11, local baseball game representing the, you know, everybody for the 9/11. It was good sized crowd. Good sized crowd. My dad's a Vietnam vet, so we, you know, he was there. We just enjoyed a night of baseball at the 7th inning, you know, when we won. So we just left before the fireworks got off. So I'm like, all right,
got to beat that traffic.
Got to beat that traffic, you know. And you probably, you know, and I had one of these fucking big ass beer bats. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up, you know. For $20, why not? Come home with a plastic bat, right? Get drunk.
You went home with something.
Yeah, but what got you started? What got you interested in wrestling as a kid? What got you to where you want to be, to where you are now? Yeah.
Well, I was 8 years old, and it was 2001, and I'm one of the people that missed the whole Attitude Era and Monday Night Wars and all that. By the time I started watching, it was like the tail end of the Invasion angle. Now, the first time I laid eyes on wrestling, I was at my auntie's house, and my cousin was watching the episode of SmackDown. And the main event was the Dudley Boys versus Kurt Angle and The Rock. So that was the first time that I seen it. Now, as far as like watching it on a weekly basis, now around that time period when I was at my auntie's house, my cousin was watching it. Me and my mom, we was like kind of couch surfing from auntie house to grandma house and other family's house.
To WCW, like WCW to the Monday Night Raw, and there was so much wrestling. I know. ECW.
Oh no, not in 2001. Everything was over with.
Yeah,
everything was over with. But when I finally got to watch it on a weekly basis, Mom's had just got an apartment, and we had the limited cable, which only had like 13 or 14 channels. Two of those channels was UPN and TNN. And I was able to watch SmackDown on a weekly basis, and two people caught my eye, Rob Van Dam and Booker T. And I grew up watching martial arts movies. So I gravitated to Rob Van Dam, but then I seen Booker T. Mind you, Booker T is a heel at the time.
Yeah.
So I laid eyes on Booker T, and I'm like, yo, this dude can go. And I didn't see a lot of black people on the roster then.
No.
So, and when I seen Booker T, I'm like, this dude can go, and he's black. So I'm constantly watching and watching. A couple of years went by. They put him in that program with Triple H, and it was that build up to WrestleMania. They showed a hype package. The hype
Yep.
package on how and it was basically his personal life. It was how he lost his mom at an early age. I lost my granddad at an early age, and that was the only father figure I had around that time. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. He's like the youngest of a bunch of siblings. I don't have a lot of siblings, I only have two. But I was my mom's only child. And around that time, we was living in the projects. He was from the urban area of Houston. So I'm like, oh, he's from the hood too? Oh, man. So then that's when they go, okay, he got in trouble for robbing a store or a restaurant or something.
It sounds like my guy. Sounds like my guy right here.
He got in trouble for armed robbery and went to prison. And I'm like, wait. So he committed armed robbery, went to prison, and got out and didn't go back? He got out and didn't go back? He got his life together?
Yeah.
Wait, so because you when you hear a black man going to prison, he does something stupid and go back. There's a 90% chance.
Yeah.
He got out and immediately got into wrestling thanks to Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
But my thing was, wait, so he got out and he didn't go back? He didn't do anything stupid? He didn't go back. He immediately got his life together. Okay.
Got his life together, and then did his own thing, and then wrestled, and then got a school, and then podcast, and right, that's it.
Yeah, it was like he got out, got into wrestling, and all of a sudden it was on from there. And I'm like, oh snap! Wait a minute. I'm like, so I hear that, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, wait a minute. So at this time I was 10 years old, so I'm like, I'm 10 years old. Living in projects with my single parent mom. Okay, we barely have cable. She won't let me go outside half the time because there's always some shit going on. Which is basically some trouble that's waiting to happen. And I'm like, wait a minute. I like wrestling, and he's a wrestler, but he's basically went through the same shit that a lot of people that I know went through, and a little bit of it I can relate to. If he can get through that, and get into wrestling and succeed, I can do the same thing. Yeah,
to accomplish what you want and be the full time. Yeah, but he made the life of it. Like he really put his heart with him and his partner. My gosh, back in the day, those guys were great tag team partners. They were really a good tag team. Him and Stevie Ray.
Oh yeah,
man. Then you fast forward to like all the matches that Booker T's done over the years, and you're just like, wow, all right. I could feel it. Like you could, the crowd feels it. I'll never forget the time I actually got to see him in Broadway, New Jersey, at Jersey All Pro Wrestling for an anniversary show, and he faced Jay Lethal. He made his dream come true, to wrestle with Booker T. Like that was like a 5-star match of the night. You know what I mean? Like they put a
what
show.
Year was that?
Holy cow! I can't think of. I don't want to look at my phone while we're podcast. I'll find it for you. Yeah,
that might have sounded like around the time he was in TNA.
Yes. Yeah. 9th year anniversary show or 10th year anniversary. I'll look for it. It's on IWTV.
Okay.
I'll send it to you after. I'll look for it after. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Send you the date. But yeah, my gosh, he put a tear. His tear. Jay Lethal's put a tear. He was crying. I'm sitting front row, like he is crying.
I would have cried too.
And to meet him, it was really cool just to meet him. Just hey, what's up? Just hello.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. I met Booker T too. Yeah, I did he did a seminar in Rome, Georgia in it was either late 20 no, it wasn't 2017. It was late 2018. I was supposed to have a show in Memphis and they canceled. So I just didn't have nothing to do the next day. And I was at this show called Pro South Wrestling, which is my home. That's the show that I got started in wrestling in. So that's a Friday show. So I go there, and one of the vets was like, "Yo, B, what you doing tomorrow?" And I was like, "Nothing." And they was like, "Wait, I thought you had that Memphis show." I was like, "Man, they canceled, so I ain't got nothing." It was like, "Well, you know, Booker T is doing a seminar at Wrestling with Superstars tomorrow, right?" And Rome was only an hour away. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "You
Okay.
know what? I'm gonna sign up for that." And I went and
Yeah.
signed up for it, met Booker. He's very detailed and very knowledgeable. But the whole time while I'm like sitting there trying to learn, 10-year-old me is like trying to like act 10-year-old me is acting a fool right now. And I'm sitting here trying to be an adult, like, yep, just here to learn wrestling.
Hey, Stevie T, hey Booker, do the spinaroo. Come on.
It was probably like 12 of us that did the seminar, and we was all thinking that. And at the end of the seminar, when he was like, "Does anybody have any questions?" Somebody was like, "Yo, can you do the spinaroonie?" And he was like, "Nah, that's tire."
Yeah, that's private. Yeah, he'll do that for a show. You know what I mean? Like he'll get up and do it. You know what I mean?
Only if Vince pays him to do it.
Mm-hmm. What was your first event that you attended? Ooh, like growing up, going to like a show.
It was the Indy show, and it was in 2003, and the project that I was living at, the Indy show was literally 5 minutes away, and I had no clue.
Yeah,
I had no clue what it was. It used to come on the local. It came on one of the local channels, like late nights and early mornings. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, I got something else to watch besides SmackDown and Raw. And my mom used to work at Wendy's. One of the trainees of that show was just handing out tickets, and so happened to went to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he knew my mom previously or what, but he gave her tickets, and she's like, "Well, I don't want to go, but my son might like it, so I'll just see if he can go with somebody." So she comes on with tickets like, "Hey, you think you got a friend or somebody you go to the show with?" And I'm like, "What show?" She's like, "A wrestling show." I'm like, "How am I gonna get there? I don't even know where it is." She was like, "Man, it's a wrestling show up there by Winn-Dixie." I was like, "There's a wrestling show by Winn-Dixie? That's like 5 minutes away. What do you mean? We can walk there." And she was like, "I'm not letting you walk anywhere. You gonna have an adult with you." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So we still made it that Saturday, and it was a cool event. The main event ended up being like a fadeaway 4-ladder match. And they had like 5 table spots. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, did I just get WrestleMania 17 for like $10?
Yes. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, growing up, man, I tell you what, wrestling shows, you catch your eye. You're like, holy shit. I went to actually growing up in my town, we had the Iron Mike Sharp Wrestling School. The Iron Mike Sharp's Wrestling School. That was a $5. I'd go for $5 every Saturday and watch wrestling. And my dad knew the promoter also, and he's like, "All right, I got you free tickets somehow. I'll score you some tickets. Go, because he knew Iron Mike big time." And but come to think, watch it, and it was actually I got to see I saw X-Pac as the 1, 2, 3 kid wrestling. The Wall from WCW wrestling. Nova from ECW. Yeah, I got lucky. Like, classy Freddie Blassie walked in every once in a while. It's pretty cool. Jeez. Like, I know, but that wasn't the original studio. That wasn't the original. They actually had the other one that burnt down in Asbury Park, New Jersey. The famous area of Asbury. I wish that was still around, but I never got to go to that. Bam Bam would always go to that one, I believe. So that was pretty cool, And, like that place was like, small little gym, small little building, You're just like, wow, okay, what is this? There's a wrestling ring right in the middle of the room. What am I going to, my first experience watching wrestling, like this is it.
That's kind of how it was. That's kind of how it was for that indie show that I went to that first time. It was called ACW, Alabama Championship Wrestling. And that was a small building. But I was 10 years old, and I'm like, and I'm probably like 4'10", so it didn't seem so small to me until I became an adult and ride by it. I'm like, there's no way that building looks big now. Like, Jesus.
And then local wrestling would come around just like these odd promotions. King Kong Bundy would wrestle, and the Tito Santana and Demolition, and like all those, like they would just have like the one-time shows. You know what I mean? Like they would just come down for like, okay, we're gonna be at the Elks Lodge tonight. We're gonna be at the VFW this week. Come watch wrestling. Check it out. And then you would see people that you knew. Like, hey, I know this guy. He, like a wrestler. You're like, oh, I remember you wrestling for this company way back when. And then actually, and also for the Iron Mike Sharp's school, Nova's brother was a promoter of a company in the mid '90s. Launched a company. It was called Phoenix Championship Wrestling in Toms River, New Jersey, and it was the standout stars. WCW's Malice was there. Nova, of course. Steve Corino. The list: Samoa Joe to AJ Styles to Frankie Kazarian, the Hit Squad, Monster Mac and Dan Moth and SAT. Just like the list goes on and on with wrestlers. Lance Cade wrestled there. Charlie Haas wrestled there. Yeah, it's all on SmartMark. There's DVDs still. They have DVDs. You'd be like, holy shit. It's like cool stuff, But yeah, every Saturday they would throw a good card. And like Balls Mahoney was the local, so he would go there all the time. Chris Candido,
Jesus.
So yeah, they were pretty. And then we had the Carney. Of course, you always had the Carney promotion that came in and forced you to go to a show. The promoter always forced me to go. Hey, you're going to come to the show on Saturday. Well, we had a good turnout. That's actually where Joey Janela started his career before AEW.
Oh.
That guy Joey Janela. I'm sure you heard of that name on AEW and Game Changer Wrestling. Yeah. Started out as a fan, and working those $5 tickets, and more than that now, right?
I heard so many people that have done that.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, he did what he had to do. But he's a good person. He did good for himself.
Yeah, by any means necessary.
But like growing up, also, like, did you ever attend any like WWE House Shows or also?
No, I didn't get a chance to attend a WWE show until I was an adult. And I was probably like 22 or 3 by then. There was a SmackDown that was happening in Birmingham. I did not realize SmackDown was taped until the first time I went to a SmackDown. I was trying, to be honest, I was actually trying to see if I could like apply for a job for WWE or something. So I'm just on the website just bullshitting. I'm like, maybe it's an application on here somewhere. And I end up scrolling across some tickets, and then there's like a card that's happening in Birmingham. And my dad literally called me while I was on the website. And we're having a conversation. He was like, hey, man, what you doing? I was like, oh, I'm on the WWE website just messing around, trying to see if I could, like, get a job or something. And he was like, oh, okay. Are you trying to buy tickets to a show or something? I was like, I thought about it. They got a show in Birmingham coming up in, like, a couple of months. He was like, well, I got it. I'll get the tickets. Don't worry about it. So he got the tickets. Me and my girlfriend went. So went to the show. It was that show where the main event was Sheamus and the Big Show versus Roman and Dean, and Bray Wyatt did a run-in at the end. So going to a SmackDown was pretty cool, and it's a Tuesday, so I thought it was a house show. And then I get there, and all of a sudden they like putting on like main event and like velocity shows and velocity matches and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, so when do we get to the show? Because what's all this extra stuff that's going on? Then finally they get to like the real show, and I'm like, wait a minute. So this ain't a house show, this the real show. It's just taped.
Yeah.
Oh, like, golly.
Yeah. My first experience with actually I was at WrestleMania 5 as a kid with my old man. And but Christmas time rolls around, New York City, Sunday Night Heat. Remember when that show was around? Sunday Night Heat. And at that restaurant there in the city, New York City had that restaurant, the WWF restaurant at the time, WWE restaurant or whatever it was, you know. And my sister and I, she surprised me, got me tickets for that, and we walk around, go eat some, you know, we look at the souvenirs, buy, you know, walk around like a normal person, and we go to the back. They're like, your name, the lady at the counter is like, we're going to be taping tonight. What? We're going to be taping Sunday Night Heat live. I'm like, no. Who's going to be here tonight? Christian, Taz, and Michael Cole. You know, of course, Michael Cole was there, but it was it was Taz. It was like a really awesome experience just to be there. And I called my mom up. Hey, Mom, I'm going to be on TV. Better VHS this, you know, because this is going to be like a moment where I'm on TV. They were in North Carolina or North Charlotte or Charlotte, where Flair's from, you know, and and it was they go to the break and do this and that, and they come out. It's Chuck Colombo comes to the ring, big show in the ring. Then they come back and they cut back to the commercial, and after that, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Booker T in the supermarket match.
Jesus.
the supermarket match, and so me and well, actually before that, the Big Show match, and or who was it? Chuck Colombo was in the ring. Taz and I actually run them. Taz, I was standing right behind Taz and Michael Cole, and right to the camera, like right there, you know, and we're like talking during the match. Like I didn't realize this was worldwide. Like I'm on worldwide TV, saying something stupid, and like Taz went along with me, and it was pretty fun. We were going, "Who's the master of the figure four? You know, who's the master of the figure four? Ric Flair!" Woo! You know, we were really getting people going. It was like fun. Right. And then after the Booker T match comes on with Stone Cold, and towards the end, you could hear, you know, they check out at the price check, you know, jackass price, you know, that whenever you said at the end, and you know, and what I said was paper or plastic, and you could hear my paper or plastic, you know what I mean? Like it's just like a but great tie though, you know. But that was the angle with Christian, with Edge or Christian and Edge and Taz had their angle in the middle of the ring, like they were doing that feud. Edge and Christian, you know, Edge and Taz had that feud going. How crazy is that? Like, you know?
Oh yeah, that's
then
a lot going on.
I've been to SummerSlam. I went to the SummerSlam where Triple H made his return after his knee injury.
Oh yeah, the 2007 SummerSlam.
Yeah. Then I was at I believe it was No Chance in Hell or something, or one of those cage match ones. You know, with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and laryngitis in the cage and Big Show. I couldn't remember. Rey Mysterio. Oh no, Rey Mysterio was the SummerSlam one. But yeah.
Are you talking about Elimination Chamber?
No, I wish I was. I wish I was part of that. No, it was a. I think it was a no mercy. No, that was no chance or something. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, local show at the Prudential shit. You know, Prudential was a big area. But I don't know. It was a good time. It was a good time to see, you know, them wrestle. Then I used to go to local TNA house shows as well when they came around.
I wish I would have had a chance to go to like a TNA show when they were high.
Yeah. I know, way back. Could you imagine going? My gosh.
Yeah, going to like one of the 2005 or 6 shows, or maybe 7. Oh yeah, that would have been crazy.
It really was. The days when it was AJ, Amazing Red, and Jeff Jarrett is Jeff Jarrett, you know. But all the other guys, Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, big inspiration, man. Big. He was like one of my favorite guys to watch in TNA. Really caught my eye after his career of ECW, you know. Going back to the ECW era, did you watch that?
No, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't start watching wrestling until 2001 because I was born in '92, so I didn't even know wrestling was a thing in the '90s. And if I just so happened to even scroll across it by accident when I was at my grandparents' house in direct TV. If my mom walked in, she probably immediately turned it because she did not want me seeing it. Because,
Yeah.
well, shoot, I was already watching every action thing possible, already jumping off the couch and stuff, drop kicking people outside and whatnot. So ain't no point in trying to watch wrestling because now people gonna get body slammed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, then you go back and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna watch this and see what this really is because a lot of good matches came out. A lot of good wrestling came out of ECW, and people really didn't realize.
Yeah, like I try to watch a couple of ECW shows, but it's kind of hard. Like I had to
Yeah.
I would have to pick and choose
I
matches.
mean,
Like I have to go on YouTube and type the match in because I heard
yeah,
it from somebody else.
yeah, you're like the Dudley Boys versus Public Enemy. Like my gosh, like Public Enemy was the dominating team back then. Like
Right.
crazy. But the Dudleys really, they man, they always had a good run. They always had a good, their career really from where they began to where they are now. It's like, just it's amazing. Have another academy team right there. Look at that. They have a school. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, the Dudleys legendary. They're the legendary, man.
Mm-hmm.
They came a long way from the ECW to
Yeah.
WWE. They had a good run in WWE, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever realized that they never took time off TV until they just stopped going to TV. And it's like, yo, what happened to the Dudleys? And people thought they got fired, but really they just took a break and just let their contract expire and leave. Then they popped up in TNA.
I got to see the Dudleys and I got to see Big Dick Dudley, at that one promotion, that other one I just talked about with all the indie stars. I was like, wow, I got to see him at his prime. Like that guy was huge, Then he died. What a shame,
Yeah.
They die, man. It's like, wow, what happens, man? Who's next? It's like everybody we just put them in the Hall of Fame, just keep on going until we put them somewhere,
Yeah, it really does suck whenever we, lose somebody that we're so used to watching. Like for my generation, it was Eddie. Eddie was a guy that
Guerrero.
Oh my Jesus, yeah. And just when it seems like Will was just recovering from that, then a Benoit incident. It's like, Jesus, not him too. Like, come on, man. And then the Legends. When it was the Legends, it was like,
Owen Hart. Owen Hart. Owen Hart.
Oh well, Owen Hart died while he was still wrestling, so
yeah,
that sucked too. But I wasn't even watching wrestling around that time. But by the time I got into wrestling, I constantly heard about that. Yes, just one dude named Owen Hart. You would have loved him. And I'm like, oh, and like you talking about the dude that hated Bret Hart with a passion? I've seen those videos. Like you talking about that guy? Was like, yeah, he died from this freak accident. It was like, oh Jesus, like man.
Yeah, now it's like, wow, who's not? It's like it just keeps going and going and going. It'll never stop.
Yeah. Well, we all got to go sometime.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, like my grandma said, you are not here to stay.
No. Till we retire.
Right. She was like, you here, but you ain't here permanently. You are not here to stay.
Well, when I retire, you know what? I'm gonna have a wrestling company of my own. I'm gonna have my own promotion. I always said that as a kid. I'm gonna own my own wrestling. As a kid, I'm gonna have my own wrestling school or something. I'm gonna have some wrestling. Can't bring my friends over. Throw a big crazy, pay-per-view. Can you imagine?
I think we all said that at one point in time, especially with the whole Hardy Boys deal. When they was having their own promotion in their backyard with the ropes and the trampoline. Oh my God.
I'll tell you what. My next door neighbor, we'd go out in his garage, and he would, since we're at the Jersey Shore, boating is popular, So boat ropes were popular as the turnbuckle ropes, the ropes for the ring. So we would wrap it around his garage, the inside of the garage. We'd throw bags full of clothes.
Gee.
Yeah, we would do like skits and stuff. He actually brought in a guy who actually looked like George the Animal Steel from the decade. Like, and my friend used to do a great Roddy Piper, and I got in there and did some stupid stuff with my next, It was just fun. It's just like I was a daredevil, as a kid. The old Mick Foley stuff,
Yeah, definitely good time.
Mm-hmm. But going back to like the leg, like looking back at the greats in wrestling, who else did you like? Like growing up, Junkyard Dog to like Mr. Wonderful to Ravishing One to Piper to Macho to Hogan to
all
the
those
list.
guys, all those guys was before my time. 'Cause like I said, I started watching in
Yeah,
2001. So
yeah.
Booker T and Rob Van Dam were my guys, and
Mm-hmm.
like I would try to watch old school stuff, but I really couldn't get into it. But the
Ricky
only,
the Dra- Ricky Ricky the Dragon.
really, the only old school guy that like I really gravitated to was Ric Flair. The old school stuff grew on me as I became an adult, and every once in a while I'll go and watch like some stuff to take notes,
Mm-hmm.
like
Ric
like
Flair, yeah, like
early
Ricky the Dragon.
'90s, late '80s WCW.
Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon. Ricky the Dragon. That guy had a career. Remember that guy?
Yeah, yeah.
He taught a lot of good.
Then I watch some great Muda here and there, and
Muda was the
I'll pick up a lot of stuff from him.
mm-hmm. Muda to Tajiri. Like his style was Tajiri of ECW,
Oh yeah, Tajiri, that's another guy I used to like. Like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't one of my favorites, but if he came on TV, I'm like, oh yeah, like I gotta watch this. Depending on who his opponent was, determine if I'm gonna pay attention or not. Now, if it's somebody that's like 6'8", 300, then I'm going to the other room because I already know what's gonna happen. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is gonna be a bad day for Tajiri, so I'm just gonna leave the room or I'm
Yeah,
just leaving the channel.
Tajiri or the oh man, he was a good wrestler, man. When he got but didn't he have a little run? He had his little run in WWE for a while, He had his little
Yeah,
run.
yeah, because he started out in, he started in Japan, then he was in
Mm-hmm.
ECW, then
Mm-hmm. Then they called.
it was either right before ECW got bankrupt or when they got bankrupt was when they brought him in, and he was
Mm-hmm.
there for 4 or 5 solid years.
Mm-hmm. And then they did the
Yeah, he did his one
ECW.
run and he went back to Japan.
Yeah, and then they called him up for that ECW's One Night Stand Part 1 and Part 2, in New York City. I was a part of the Part 2. I went to the Part 2. That was nuts to see Rob Van Dam, and
Oh,
John
finally
Cena.
get the belt.
The Rob, and then John Cena's riot in the crowd. Oh my gosh, that was just great. It was just a great night,
Oh
That was
yeah,
seeing Eugene's stupidness,
yeah. Another favorite that I eventually gravitated to, it wasn't even a WWE guy. It was
Mm-hmm.
all right, so TNA had just got on Spike TV.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I knew about TNA before they got on Spike TV. It was around like '03. They used to be on pay-per-view every Wednesday for $9.95.
Mm-hmm.
So every blue moon, I'll order a TNA Impact show and watch that. But when they finally made it on Spike, I started watching every week because I'm like, oh, that's the show with the dude that does the flippy do spiral tap, and
Mm-hmm.
it was AJ Styles.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, so that's the show with that guy. So I'll start watching that, and then what happened? AJ and Daniels moved out of the X division right
Mm-hmm.
after they right after they did their thing with Samoa Joe. And
Mm-hmm.
Low Key came back to the production. I mean to the
Yeah.
company, but he was renamed as Senshi. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, who's this short bald dude that keeps kicking people? Like, who is this guy? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, he doesn't talk much, but
Mm-hmm.
he's extremely vicious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I like this guy. Why was this guy not in the WWE Cruiserweight division in like 2002 and 3? Like, where was this guy at?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like this guy. If anything, I like this guy more than I like Tajiri. Like,
Yeah.
I need more of him. And then they basically just let him run the S division for,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, a good 5, 6 months, maybe 7. He had his little stint,
Yeah.
he left again. I'm like, hey, bring that dude back. Then he did the NXT game show,
Mhm.
And it was around that time I had temporarily stopped watching wrestling, and then I was like gravitating back
Mhm.
because the 2011 stuff, like 2011 was a real WWE put out some good stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm hearing like Christian was doing some good stuff. Let's see,
Mhm.
Mark Henry had got his run and like some
Mhm.
other stuff, and I'm like, oh snap! So I got to start back watching. And in it, low key had just did the NXT game show,
Mhm.
and then saying no, I'm like, wait a minute, ain't that the dude from TNA that used to kick people? He's there now. Oh
Him,
Jesus!
him,
Like,
Loki, and Sanjay Dutt. Remember
say that
Sanjay?
again. My headphones like
I
came.
just I said, remember Loki, Sanjay Dutt, Sanjay Dutt, the Himalaya player.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember him.
He's actually, I just saw a tweet this morning from him, and it's actually, he's celebrating his 21st anniversary of professional wrestling. Kind of crazy, right? Like, he had a good run. Sanjay had a good run for his career as an
21
independent.
years, Jesus.
Yeah, he was he's one of those guys from that promotion I went to, Phoenix Wrestling, that I told you also as well. And but he was a local at Jersey All Pro Wrestling in Rahway, New Jersey. That was low key in his spot. Like they were the locals, you know.
Yeah, I did realize a lot of those
Mhm.
East Coast guys that like
Yes.
WWE was like not paying attention to. They either
Mhm.
went the Ring of Honor and made a name for themselves, or they went
Mhm.
the Ring of Honor and try to get recognized and end up going to TNA and making some noise.
Mhm.
So either way, they end up making some noise.
Mhm. Did you get you? And then you fast forward time and you did you then you heard about you look at and then we hear about Ring of Honor. Okay, what's this about? We have to check this out, you know. And this
Yeah.
was, my gosh, I was like surprised what that was about. I'm like, wow, I wish I was there for like the earlier days of it, you know.
Yeah, me too. That's one of my biggest regrets is not knowing about Ring of Honor earlier. My
Mm-hmm.
dad tried to my
Mm-hmm.
dad tried, but he didn't try hard enough because what he used to do was he would tape Raw
Mm-hmm.
and then he will tape a TNA pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll tape a WWE pay-per-view and he will bring it to my mom's house and I'll watch the tapes until he brings another one the next month.
Mm-hmm.
So then one Pacific tape had a Ring of Honor taping on it. And I didn't even give it a chance because I was one of those teenagers where I'm like, I don't know none of these people, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
anybody in TNA and I gave them a chance. So why did I not do that to Ring of Honor? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what I was thinking, but it was like the 2007-8 time period when like Kevin Steen
Mm.
and
Yeah.
El Generico and them is there
Mm.
and Seth Rollins when he was Tyler Black. Like I don't know. Like, what was I thinking? I don't know, but my dad,
I
my
yeah.
dad tried to put me on Ring of Honor during the
Mm.
early days, and I guess he had just found out about it. He probably thought, "Oh, well, my son will like this," and I didn't even give it a chance. Now I got to catch up on stuff on the internet. Had no
I'll
clue
tell.
Samoa Joe had like a nearly
Yeah.
2 year title reign,
Mm-hmm.
and low key was like the man there for like that first year. Homicide was just tearing it up. Shoot, let's
The
see.
Briscoe
CM Punk,
brothers,
yeah, the
Briscoe,
Briscoe brothers.
Austin
CM Punk,
Aries,
yeah,
Austin
CM Punk
Aries,
was doing CM Punk thing.
Austin Aries.
Um, yeah, he had a whole group. It was him and like I want to say it was like 3 or 4 more people. They was like a next generation thing, and they was tearing it up.
Mhm. I got the chance to go and see Ring of Honor when it was like that prime when Punk was just coming. You know, I got to see him before he signed. You know, to Ring of Honor, WWE, that time frame when
Hmm.
he faced Austin Aries. I saw him wrestle Austin Aries, and then Christopher Daniels hops the rail. You know, right where I am. I'm like, oh shit, this is like Edison, New Jersey. You know, I'm like, holy shit. I got to see some juniors tournaments. I saw a juniors tournament with Nigel was Nigel. My gosh, that guy was a good wrestler.
Hmm.
Holy shit, that guy was pretty good. Like Nigel was like Brian Danielson. My gosh, there was a guy, the American Dragon. Like, you know, it's just like you go back and you look at Chris Hero, the king of the wrestling. You know, kings of the wrestling. You know, him and Claudio. My God, like I got to see when it was the wrestling was good. Kenta came in, you know, Kabosh, or I wish I saw that Kabosh come in. You know what I mean? Like that guy. But I got a lot of. I got hooked on Ring of Honor. I was in New York City for a couple of those. I was like final battles, a couple final battles, and the Dishonors. The Ring of, you know, my gosh, it was like an era of wrestling that needed to be seen. Like people didn't realize Ring of Honor was a really like one of those promotions that put it on the map. You know?
Oh yeah, like there's some matches that I'll scroll across on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
I end up watching. I'm like, man, I wish I would have seen this
You had like
the
AJ.
night that it was aired. I wish I would have seen that because this is different. Like
I mean,
till this day, there's still people that'll see me matches like, yo, did you ever watch this one Ring of Honor match from like '05 with such and such and such and such? And I'm like, no, I never even heard of that match. And then they'll send it to me, and then I'll watch it. Now I'm trying to steal stuff from the match.
Yeah, it's like when AJ faced Jimmy Rave and he stole the Styles Clash from him.
Yeah,
Jimmy Rave.
Now I knew about that storyline. So here's the funny
Yes.
thing about that. So when I got into wrestling and I started training at Pro South Wrestling, Jimmy Rave was one of the guys that used to go there kind of often. And several months later, we end up having this big show, and the Young Bucks was supposed to come through. The Young Bucks supposed to have like a whole tour throughout the Southeast, and they was gonna come to Pro South. Well, something happened with travel arrangements, and they couldn't make it. So then somehow, with the luck of the draw, AJ is up taking the booking, and I'm like, dude, how'd you get AJ? He was like, man, I don't know. I just talked to such and such, and I'm like, give me AJ. I didn't think it was gonna happen. Then I just got it, and I'm like, so who's he gonna wrestle? It was like, I don't know. I got a couple of people in mind. I was like, well, is he gonna wrestle Jimmy? Because that's kind of the only logical thing here is if he wrestles Jimmy. At the time, I didn't know him and Jimmy had history. He was like, I don't know. I might play with that. So then he went, and so he's like thinking about it, talking to the booking committee and whatnot. And then kind of found out they had a conversation where he's like pitching names at AJ, and AJ wasn't so sure about it. And then he goes, well, would you work Jimmy Rave? And AJ goes, wait a minute. Jimmy still wrestles? He still yeah, hell yeah, I work Jimmy. What the fuck? I didn't know he still wrestled. So man, and they came. So AJ came, and we had a kick-ass show, and that was like the biggest draw for that show in like God knows when. So then Jimmy and AJ worked, and Jimmy was fucking dehydrated because for some reason he didn't. He thought it was a bright idea to not drink water. So they having this good match or whatnot, and randomly Jimmy throws up on AJ's jacket. Then they go and finish the match. They went 20 minutes strong. AJ comes back in the back. He was like, "Yeah, man, that was fun, but he threw up on my fucking jacket." Like, Jimmy, what the hell? It's like, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, I was dehydrated. Why you ain't drinking no water? Like, we've been trying to give you water all day, and you was like, no, I'm good. You drinking whatever water you is. That shit ain't hydrated. You drink some Powerade, bro. It's like 900 degrees outside. What are you doing? And it's hotter in the building.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know. Dehydration, man. You see that through the years of wrestling too. I've seen that recently at the Game Changer Wrestling was down in Florida for like that WrestleMania weekend or whatever it was, you know. And JJ Garrett was doing a wrestling match, and he puked in the ring because he was dehydrated.
Jesus.
Like,
I had to learn the hard way from dehydration.
Yeah.
When I was like in 5th grade, and I didn't realize how important it was to drink water. And I was like outside like it was a Friday. And my mom, this was one of the days my mom let me go outside. And so it's like 4 o'clock when I went outside. I didn't come back in the house till like 10:30. Like the sun, the street lights is out, and I'm just still outside. But at the time, I didn't get the memo when the street light hits, be back at home, because most of the time my mom didn't let me outside. I'm just outside having a blast, and I go, man, I think it's kind of late. I should probably get home. In my mind, I'm thinking it's 9 o'clock. I get around the corner, and my mom is like having a conversation with somebody else. She goes, "Oh, I was just about to come looking for you." I'm glad I don't have to do that. You know, it's like 10 o'clock. I'm like, wait, what? It's 10? No, I had no clue. I thought it was like 8:30. I didn't know. Walk in the house, go straight to sleep. Wake up the next day, I'm puking all over the place because I didn't drink some water before I went to bed. Horrible. I had to go to the hospital to get IVs and whatnot. Oh man, it sucked. I'd have missed like 2 days of school.
Right.
It was bad. Ever since then, man, I'm drinking water, Powerade every chance I get.
Oh yeah. We all have to stay hydrated nowadays. But but you remember was it Draws and WWE and the Balls Mahoney? They would puke all the time on for no reason because they were dehydrated. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the Ugly Boys, I'll tell you what, the Ugly Boys didn't have to worry about that because one of them was a bouncer at a bar in Asbury Park. I never knew that, until I asked him. Yeah, we were a bouncer. So he got free drinks all the time to stay hydrated,
Got to.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, these guys now, it's but you see how much these guys drink all their liquor and I don't know how they do it now on wrestling. They gotta match the night before. You're like, oh shit, do I really have to? Should I not drink or not? You know what I mean? I gotta be, but you gotta watch yourself. You know what I mean? These people nowadays, I mean, they make it big on TV with when Tony Khan lets them. All right, we're gonna have some drinks tonight. With the Hangman, and that's really I don't like how they promote. They should not. Holding at the bar, having a drink. They really shouldn't be promoting that, You're there for the wrestling, But that's business.
But it's like it's a lot of people in wrestling that are drinkers, and then depending on whatever show you go to, some shows sell beer and whatnot. Yeah, so it's kind of the norm. I guess.
But
I'm not a drinker, so I don't know.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Stay sober.
Yeah. I'm usually one of the wrestlers when they go, yo, who's trying to party? I gotta sneak away because it's like, you drinking? No. Wait, what? I'm not a drinker. I don't care for it.
No.
So I just sneak away when everybody's not looking.
You're like, okay, I had my time. I did this in school and college. I did it, and here we go. It's not the fun like it used to be. And it's like, just do what you have to do. It's everybody. It just fades away. It's
like I drunk a few times. I just don't care for it. It's just drink is just not for me. Like I tried it, and I never been drunk because I don't know my limits. I'm one of those people I have to drink a lot, and I'm like, one, I don't know my limit. Two, I don't know what will happen if I get drunk, and three, I'm afraid of being that angry drunk, and I already have some. And sometimes my temper gets out of control. So me being drunk and angry, I don't want to go to jail.
No.
So let's just not find out how that goes.
No. So let's throw it at this now. I like our conversation. Let's stay up. I could go all night almost, but till whatever time. But let's keep on going. I like this. Movie wise, what are you into? What's your favorite kind of go to movie? What do you like?
I don't have a go to movie.
Yeah.
Like I like action movies, so if there's depending on how I'm feeling, if I want to see some explosions or whatnot, then I'll go that route. I honestly don't have a favorite movie.
I know.
It's just
so much wrestling.
If I'm in a mood for something, I just so happen to see that movie laying around, I'm gonna watch it. If I feel like watching some martial arts, I might watch a Bruce Lee movie. I just might watch a random
Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai series or Karate Kid.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Cobra Kai to hurry up and drop something new. But as far as karate movies, if I'm on Netflix, if there's something that looks cool and I haven't seen it, then I'll do that. But if if I got some DVDs laying around, in my apartment I don't have any DVDs. All my DVDs at my mom's house. I didn't get a chance to pack those. And at the same time, my mom's probably like, "No, don't take the movies. I need something to watch because I'm not gonna watch them. I'm not even home half the time." So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when I was living with my mom's, so it's either I
Something
might
good.
watch, yeah, it'll be something good. Like, I might watch Transporter. I might watch Bruce Lee movies, some
Hmm.
Jackie Chan movies. If I'm on Netflix, whatever martial arts movies around, if I feel like watching some stuff blow up,
Hmm.
The Dark Knight Rises and
Or the Fast and the
whatever. Not
Furious,
the
or
not the Dark Knight Rises, but the
yeah,
Dark Knight. But the
yeah,
Dark Knight and whatever else I feel like
whatever.
watching something
Like
blow
a
up.
like a action packed movie, like a Marvel movie that comes out.
Like a Die Hard or something.
Yes, yeah. God, that was a
Yeah,
classic. Man, I haven't
yeah.
seen that. I gotta. Oh, that makes me want to watch that again. That was a good movie.
Like the Marvel and DC movies are cool,
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not going to just go that route immediately.
Oh yeah.
Like if I'm going to watch the superhero stuff, I'd rather watch the cartoon stuff instead of like the live action movies they doing now. Because the live action movies are good and all, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to a point where I really just don't care for it. I don't care for it like how everybody else. Everybody else is like diehards for it. If I'm gonna watch a Marvel or DC movie, I'd rather go to Dollar General and get one of the DC or Marvel cartoons that they got on sale for like $4, because that stuff be good too.
Hmm. Yeah. TV shows. Have you ever TV shows? Any kind of series or any kind of?
I literally just started watching Naruto recently, so that has my attention right now.
Mhm.
Cause
Right now?
I'm yeah, right now I'm one of the wrestlers where when people talk about anime, I have no clue what anybody else is talking about. Cause when all these anime first came out and it was popular, I was the one kid that didn't have cable nor internet, so I didn't know this show was out.
Mhm.
And by the time I found out about it, it was probably like 6 years ago. So I'm in the locker room. I knew what Dragon Ball was,
Mhm.
but I don't know the storylines. I knew what Gundam Wing was because I like watching big robots shoot each other and whatnot, but I didn't pay attention to the storylines. But as far as like all these other animes that everybody be talking about, I have no clue what they're talking about. But I'm always hearing people have
Yeah.
an argument over which is better,
Pikachu.
Dragon Ball or Naruto. I'm
Pikachu or
like,
something. Yeah.
well,
I
let
don't
me
know.
give Naruto a chance because I had no clue that Naruto was about ninjas, and I like ninjas. I like fighting. Wait,
Yeah.
so an anime while fighting and it's about ninjas? This sounds like some Japanese stuff, but I didn't realize that anime was based from Japan.
Yeah.
So start watching that. I'm like, okay. So right now, Naruto has my attention
Cool.
until Cobra
Yeah.
Kai drops a new season or something,
Yeah.
and then I'm
Right
gonna
now.
watch all that in one season,
Right
and
now,
then
what's
I'll be yeah.
like right now? Like right now, what's catching my eye is that series, Heels, Heels on Star with the wrestlers. That series, the rest.
Yeah, I just don't have stars.
Mhm. But it's great. It's a good storyline. You know.
Yeah, the people in the it's
Mhm.
some of the wrestling friends in the group chat talk about it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, somebody dub a tape and send it to me and then I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Another show that
Mhm.
that I watch, but I'm waiting on them to hurry up and drop something new is The Mandalorian. I love Star Wars.
Star Wars. I love the original. I always go back to the original. Everybody says no. The
Oh
new
yeah,
Star.
I can watch the original. I can watch the
Mhm.
trilogy that I grew up on. I don't
Mhm.
really care for like the new trilogy that
No,
they
no.
had recently.
All right,
I
music.
don't really care for
What's
that.
your go to music when you're what's your weightlifting music, or you're at the gym and you're just let's get you pumped.
It just usually depends on how I'm feeling. I'm either listening to fight music from like the early 2000s,
Hmm.
or I'm going to be listening to some middle and rock from the early 2000s thanks to wrestling.
Hmm.
Thanks to wrestling, it opened my eyes to metal and rock. Like
Hmm.
I used to think that I was like too cool to listen to that, but then like
Hmm.
a song might catch my ear and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like Linkin Park would drop something, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lil Biscuit might drop something. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
that's that.
All right.
That's that. Wait, that's that group that made that song for The Undertaker. So okay, so they got some cool stuff.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of music that I listen to is old. I don't care for new music.
Well, of course, like the generation of hip hop. Of course, like the old school Run DMC. Like the all the classics. I mean, there's so much music that we all loved when we were growing up.
Yeah, I bounced from like '90s to early 2000 stuff. So I'm like that with music and wrestling.
Mm-hmm. There's so much music that really. I have a friend who's actually did the original themes for WWF. There's a guy. His name is J.J. McGuire. He actually wrote all the original themes.
I need that guy to give me a thing.
Yeah, he does music still too. He still does it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's retired, but he still does it.
Oh man, the last guy that did a song for me got hired by AEW.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't Serpent.
Huh?
It wasn't Serpent. No. Yeah.
I never even put a name on that song. But it was but
of
what
course
was it? He was just trying to get a hustle and he was just hitting up everybody like, yo, I make custom beats and all this other stuff, yada yada yada. And then I had end up getting a booking in Mississippi and that dude was and that promoter huh?
I was gonna say, who really makes good music? Leo Rush. My gosh.
Leo Rush makes music?
You never knew that?
No, I had no clue.
Oh my God, he's a musician on the side. He does his own music. Hip hop to rap. He's got some good ones. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to go and get it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely am. I had no clue. I'm one of the people where I live under a rock because I try to stay out of stuff and I try to ignore a lot of stuff because
yeah, Leo,
it be way too much negativity and stuff going on between social media and society. So
musician, wrestler, and God, my God, family member. God, how many kids this guy got? He's got a big family. Like you know what I mean? God bless him. God bless him. He's one of those guys that people never knew really was good. He's still out there though. He wants to make it. I think he's still with MLW. I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Leo has options now.
He really has all of his options. Who's catching your eye on the indie scene now that you would love to face? Who would you love to face? There's so many guys, I'm sure, from the Georgia to the West Coast to the Mid Coast, Mid South, East Coast. There's so many names. If you had to pick, like, who catches your? If you like to watch AEW or you wanted to wrestle with them, you know what I mean? So many good.
Yeah, that's a lot.
There's a lot of guys I know.
Now, when you say indies, are you talking about like just the open market in general, or like
yes,
or like people that's in, or that includes people that's in like Impact and Ring of Honor, AEW, because they do indie shows on the side too.
Yes, anybody.
Well, I mean, I would love a match with Fred Yehi.
There's a good wrestler right there.
He's been ducking and dodging me in Connect 4 for like 3 years now. Shoot. Who else?
Tony Deppen. Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm
Tony Deppen.
I'm really open to anybody that I can work and learn from. That's where I'm at this point. Like, I would like to have good matches, but if there's like if there's somebody like seasoned that's like an indie darling, or like they're signed to one of the companies, if I could get a good match and learn from them, I'll be open to that. So I'm really going to have anybody in particular I like to wrestle.
How about Ninja Mac? Ninja Mac. from Low Key Wrestling. Local Wrestling out of Texas. He's all over the place. I'm sure you noticed that. He's out there.
I wish I could get a match out of Booker T.
That's it. Booker, you still got one match in you, and then you can do the spinner Rudy for me, please. What do you want, sucker?
Be like, Book, I will move at a slow pace because I know you got some mileage behind you. If I can get a match out of Booker T, man, that would be life.
That'd be it. And just do one spinner Rooney just for me.
Yeah, if I get a spinner Rooney, I'll have to sneak a spinner Rooney out of him. Like, I won't talk him into it. I might have to just do a spot where I'll like put him down for a second and then just do it.
Yeah.
And I would do it wrong on purpose just so he'll do it.
Yeah, he'd be like, "What the hell? All right, you got me now, man." You know, cameras on him. You know, man. There's so many. Yeah, there's just so much talent out there that's you would love to. You know, and you probably would love to come to my area, East Coast, and just Jersey Shore, and do some promotions out here that would, you know.
Oh yeah, I would love to come to the East Coast. I'm just horrible at connections. Like, I'll hit some guys up, and they'll either not respond back, or they might respond with, "Oh, well, we're full right now." It's like, well, I wasn't talking about right now. I was talking about like a few months from now or something. Like, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 months from now, because my schedule's kind of full for the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll put a word into one of my guys at my local Titan Championship Wrestling. They're good based and fun house wrestling, good based wrestling, and they've had guys who are on TV as well. So with actually Steve Mack, the guy I was talking, Monster Mack. So yeah, I'll put a word in. Oh
yeah. Oh, there's a guy named Timmy Lowe. He's out of Carolina. I'd like to work him if I could get a match with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I could get a match out of him. It'll just have to. It might determine on the promotion or the location. Well, I wouldn't say the location because he's not local. I don't even think he wrestles in Carolina. He just lives in Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what do you got coming up? Let's call it a night. I'm done. How about you? All right. Let's plug
what I got coming up is there's this show called Renegade Championship Wrestling. They normally run in Chatsworth, Georgia, and it's usually a Saturday show. But they're running this Friday at a school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the next city over in Dalton, Georgia. I don't have anything Saturday.
Yep.
But Sunday, Pro South Wrestling, which is usually a Friday show, but they're at a hiatus right now due to some internal issues.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a show for like a mentally challenged company. Like, my cousin's wife was working at this one place called Rainbow Omega, and she wanted to get wrestling there because she knew I wrestled. And then there's another dude that wrestles at another Alabama promotion, and she was talking to him, and she just wanted to just get wrestling for the people that she worked with, the people that she cared for, and her families and whatnot. And when she got in touch with my original trainer, and he put it together, and I'm like, oh yeah, you got that? Yeah, I'm down for that. Put me down. And I definitely do that. So that's happening Sunday. And what's happening the week after that?
I know. It's just, I know you can't even think. It's like, oh, I'm so booked.
Yeah. And September 25th, I have New Era Wrestling. That's in Jasper, Alabama. Okay, I knew I had another Friday show coming up. There's a show called Bad Boy Pro. I'm debuting there in Huntsville, Alabama. So Huntsville and Jasper, I'm not sure how far apart they are, but they're really not that far. I know it's less than an hour, but they're both 40 minutes from Birmingham. So I get to spend a weekend in Birmingham. I'm going to wrestle Friday, go to Birmingham and spend some time with my dad's side of the family and whatnot. Then I'll go to New Era Wrestling Saturday. And I may spend another night in Birmingham if I feel like it, depending on how I feel. I may not. I may just come back home.
Exactly. And then just schedule yourself for more wrestling, and that's it. Wrap yourself up till the holidays. It'll be what, Christmas by the time wrestling's over. And
Yeah,
season starts. It'll just goes and goes, man.
Yeah, I got, let's see, the Saturdays in October is full. I got one Sunday show in October, and November is almost full, but I don't have anything the last week, but I'm not even going to try to look for anything. In December, I'm taking a whole month of December off.
Oh, do it. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that. I know. Absolutely.
Now, normally December is usually when I'm the most busiest, because I'm not the biggest family guy, so I usually like whatever wrestling shows is running, and I'll go to any wrestling show possible, even if it's on a weekday, because that's usually when I get the most time off from my regular job. So that's usually when I do the most wrestling, and that's been like that for the past couple of years. But in 2021, decided to be different, and decided to give me a child, which is due December 4th. So I'm just gonna spend the whole month of December with my daughter when she gets here.
That's it. The birth is ready, and hey, Merry Christmas, right?
Right. So it's like a happy birthday to her when she gets her. There's gonna be a Merry Christmas. There's gonna be a happy birthday to me the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Then I'll be right back at it in January.
Yeah. And then February, and then March and April, and just do it all over again.
Oh yeah.
And travel. That's what you want to do. Just make yourself present.
Yeah. I'm hoping Japan. I think Japan is shut down right now. But when Japan opens back up, I'm gonna take a chance there. Like I'm at least gonna try to like find like a show or two and like go there and take a chance and see what happens.
But I'll tell you what, man, if I had a chance to go there, I'd love to watch some I'd see some Jun Kasai, and my gosh, like just the Freedoms Wrestling, and just like all the New Jersey, the NG, the big promotions, and just my gosh, they do it the right way.
I don't know what it is, but as long as I've been a wrestling fan, I always want to do something in Japan. Even before I got in wrestling, I was like, what would be cool if I became a wrestler and I wrestled in Japan. I think, what was it? What happened? It was around the time TNA, I think they was doing a cross promotion with New Japan Pro Wrestling when Kurt Angle and the Dudleys was there. And TNA did some little thing where they will show like highlight clips of like Kurt defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Dudleys defending the IWGP tag belts, and then they'll show like highlights of like other matches and some guys on the lower card working the Japanese guys, and I was like, yo, that'll be dope. I was like, that'll be dope. That's what caught my eye with like the Japanese talent. Because I was always in the WWE bubble until I discovered TNA, but then TNA was doing that cross promotion stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a separate wrestling in Japan and Mexico and all these other places. I had no clue. Like that just opened my mind up, and I'm like, man, wrestling Japan would be dope.
Yeah, and to see this guy on AEW right now, what the hell is his name? The Japanese wrestler.
I know you're talking about, but I forgot his name too.
Monohiro, Masha Suzuki or something.
I am terrible. I'm terrible.
Suzuki something. He's on he's going to be doing a couple of shows for Game Changer in a couple of weeks. Like he's on he's going to be showing off.
He debuted at the pay-per-view, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he debuted at the pay-per-view with Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan and who else? Let's see. Ruby debuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple other people debuted too that I can't think of. They had a lot going on. Like Jesus Christ.
I know. Now
they was not playing.
Now, but you see that CM Punk wants to wrestle the talent. He wants to test them. That's good. I could see it.
Somebody's got to do it.
He's going to go down the roster like Brian has to too. It's going to. I mean, we could see this is going to be some good matches coming out of there. Watch, you got. I mean, people don't realize like I put Sammy Guevara versus CM Punk. Come on, dude! Like that's going to be a match right there.
That's
Like,
what makes wrestling fun.
Mm-hmm. It's like John Moxley versus CM Punk again. Like they've wrestled in the past. Like they have a history in the past. Daniels and Moxley. Ooh shit! Like there's gonna be some stuff that we're gonna be like, wow.
Yeah, but knowing Punk and Daniel Bryan, they're gonna mainly try to work with the younger guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what's gonna make everything fun.
And which is awesome is with them as vets of the business, they'll be training. I'm sure that they on the behind the cameras they'll train. They'll to teach stuff, and that's a good thing about being a wrestler. Like those kind of guys can showcase. Be on the main show and go help out and be a teacher and train them as well.
Yeah, that's how you make wrestling a better place. Because there's a whole generation of wrestlers that didn't care to do stuff like that. But now that you got guys that went through that and don't want wrestling to be like that, now they're willing to like wrestle, lower card guys or come on the indies and wrestle some guys that they might have like heard some buzz about or maybe seen the clip of and want to work with, and then they willing to teach us some stuff. That just makes everything better.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, CM Punk versus Omega, that'll happen. Ooh, Bryan versus Omega again. That'll be happening because they've had, Japan. Omega.
Oh yeah.
But man, just like, but I get
so many possibilities.
But Homicide has a match against him. I'm kind of curious with that Suzuki guy. So that's the next one. And then Nick Gage is actually he's going to be facing John Moxley's coming to my neck of the woods in Atlantic City in October to face Nick Gage. That's going to be a brawl of death. They're going to just tear the house down.
Oh yeah, fans gonna eat that up.
And Suzuki also. He has a show the next night, Sunday. I'm like, all right, I can't wait. That's my weekend. I'm gonna be down in Atlantic City for all the Game Changer shows and just other wrestling as well.
Yeah, that's the wrestling schedule I want to have. That those guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get the big gig through the week. Then you go weekends hit. Then you do some good shows here, work with some good talent, and all that other stuff.
It's the way to be. That's the way to do it. But anyway, Brandon, what an awesome conversation, my friend. This was good. We had a good one. This was a good long cut. I enjoy. We'll do this again. I'd love to have you come back again. And I'm going to mention
I'll definitely come back.
And my other podcast friend would like. He's always asking, I don't have any guests. I'll mention you. So
all right.
He's out of Florida, so yeah.
All right, I appreciate that. I need to do more podcasts anyway. I don't do them often.
No,
because one, I don't think about doing it, and then two, I don't get invited. But I was just talking. It's this chick that I train with named Zoe. And I've seen she had a lot of Instagram followers, and I don't. And I'm like, yo, Zoe, help me get some Instagram followers. And one of the things that she said was, yo, how often do you do podcasts? And I'm like, I don't. I never get invited. And I'll do one every blue moon, and then it just nothing else after that. So then I just go and just do my own thing or whatever. If I can do more podcasting, cool.
And you know what? After this, we become good friends, and that's about the cool thing about wrestling. We're friends for life,
Oh yeah. Wrestling building relationships.
You do, and we don't realize people don't. I mean, the more friends, the more happy we are, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Because when I got in wrestling, I was one of the dudes where I was like, I don't even want any friends. I just want to just wrestle and be to myself. But that's not the way to go. And I had my own reasons why I was like that. It was stuff that I dealt with in the past that I was hoping I wouldn't deal with in wrestling. But it made it ends up happening anyway. But then there's people that I end up being friends with by complete accident, and I just don't question it. I just go along with it. It was like, well, I didn't think I'll be friends with these guys, but here we are. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, I could come to Georgia for a day or two on a vacation. I'll be like, oh, I got somebody I could call. Hold on. Hey, Brandon, where are you? Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll be over this week. I'm going to come down for a couple of days. I need to get away from Jersey. It's like great,
Oh yeah, there's some nice spots over here in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's people stay coming down here visiting. I'll
Mhm.
go Uber Eats and DoorDash, and
Mhm.
people just walking around, just having the time of their life, just toured. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
so which one y'all ordered this food? Because I don't know who to give it to.
That's like me going to Atlantic City. Do I gamble or do I not gamble?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I play slot machines though. I only win like $300 or $200 and go home happy. Yeah, it's a part about gambling, right? You win some, you lose some, but these other guys forget it. Or the older people forget about it. It's
Oh yeah. I hate
yeah,
losing money, so I don't even do it.
yep, yeah. You lose money in an Uber. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm mad. If I gotta take Uber somewhere, I'm mad. So I'm definitely not gambling.
No, no. That or the Delta flights these that we hear a lot of stories about now. They hate Delta.
With Delta, it was the Pennsylvania. Yeah, it was the Pennsylvania for Pro Excellence Pro Wrestling back in 2018.
Hmm.
No, it was
Yeah,
American Airline on the way there and Delta on the way back.
hmm. Yeah, Delta is. I don't know. It's a curse with wrestlers. I don't know.
Oh
it's
man, well I'll
it's a
just I'll take American,
yeah,
something else.
right.
Oh Jesus.
No, yeah, I hear stories. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I would want to take. I probably would take Continental over that.
Oh man, I just hate Philadelphia. I just hate Philadelphia's airport. That's it.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
unorganized.
Yeah,
I haven't been to a lot of airports, but Philadelphia's airport's a shit show.
mhm.
Lord have mercy. They need to just start over.
Newark's pretty good. They're okay. Newark's okay. Newark, Delaware.
It's
Yeah,
this one
yeah.
guy named Cobal. When
Mm,
I got to Excellence Pro Wrestling and he was there, he didn't realize I was coming into town, but he knew me from the Pro
mm,
South show in Alabama because he'll
mm,
come down every blue moon, do that show. He might do something else and he'll go back home.
mm.
So when he seen me at Excellence, he was like, "Hey man, what's up, man? How you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing good. Just got off the plane, kind of tired, yada yada yada." And he was like, "Oh, which airport did you come from?" And I'm like, what in the world? Is there another one? I'm like, man, I came from god awful Philadelphia's airport. That shit's trash. And he
Mm,
was like, yeah, I hate that airport. I take Jersey.
mm.
Yeah, he said he will drive 2 hours to go to Jersey's airport to travel wherever you got to go to because he hates Philadelphia that much, the Philadelphia airport.
Mm. Yeah. But Brandon, I want to say thank you for coming on a podcast, my friend.
No,
And
thank you
let's
for
do this
having me.
again. And everybody can follow you right down here on the social media, all platforms. Like, share, retweet, listen, check you out a show, say hello, get booked on a show, win a match on a show. you know, get
If you
that
see
W.
me if you see me at a show, please come visit me at the merch table.
Yes, buy
I
his merch. Stock up and buy your merch. Yes, that's the most important. And if you don't have the money, just a nice smile on the face with it. Pick phone to your hand. That's about it.
Yeah, well, bring a piece of paper and I'll sign it and give you a high five. I'll
hmm
take a picture with you or something.
Remember the old days growing up. We'd get the piece of paper, like just go with autographs.
Well,
like
I never
yeah,
did that because
yeah,
I didn't do a lot of shows. But when I
yeah,
got in wrestling, the kids was doing it to me, and I'm like, man, I'm so used to watching TV and
yeah.
watching WWE, and they talking about live events and seeing other kids
Mhm.
doing it. Now somebody's doing it to me. Like, what? Man,
Yeah.
my dad almost cried the first time he seen that.
Mhm. But you know what? They love it. It's a piece of treasure for life for them.
Yeah.
It, But let's call it a night. I'm tired. I got to get up at 5 o'clock. I'm a garbage man. I'm a metal man. So
5 o'clock.
It's 5:30.
5:30. That's still. Oh my gosh! I haven't got up at 5:30 in so long.
I'm a laborer. So
definitely go to bed.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. You have a good night, and I don't have any podcasts coming up. So fans, I'll be digging some up soon. And if you know anybody that you could recommend or friends, please let them come on. I'd love to have a good night. Good night, everybody. Yep. All right, fans, you heard it here from him, and I'm out of here for the night. That is it. That was a great conversation with wrestler Brandon. Brandon. I'm just going to say Brandon. Yeah, I'll just say Brandon because everybody. Whatley. There you go. I got it out. Wiley. He's smiling behind the camera. And, but I want to say thank you for coming on the podcast tonight, and go check him out at a show. Support him out of Georgia, and he's ready to wrestle anybody in the world. He's ready. So he's ready to take on anybody and everybody in the game of wrestling. Support him. Say hello at a show near him, and thank you for listening to the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast, and have a good night. Until next podcast. Until next time. Good night, everybody. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Hey, wrestling fans, check out bootantheheel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Russell podcast as well. www.bootantheheel.com.